Hello, everybody. This is Michael from Spades Consulting coming at you again. We are going to talk about the only investment that honestly matters anymore. Okay. A little bit different from usual, but the lights are at half, and this is more going to be more laid back. The only investment that makes sense going forward, um, I mean, a lot of people might have an issue with this one, but the only investment that honestly makes sense anymore is people. Now, given I will personally go out of my way to be an asshole, to be a troll, okay? I don't do it because I hate people, okay? I mostly do it for the kicks and for the fact that you have to, with a certain amount of people, when dealing with certain people, your ability to express yourself is can be kind of limited depending on the circumstances. And in addition to it, some people just really need to, be kind of shaken out of the sleepwalk days that they fall into. And trolling and overall general fuckery generally helps, ease that. All right, and relaxes people a bit. After a little bit of tension, but you know, investing in companies. All right, and this is just me speaking personally off the cuff. This is not investment advice of any kind. Investing in companies doesn't really fucking make sense. Like right now, you could absolutely jump on board like the AI bandwagon and help join the horde of companies that just turned $20 RAM chips into $400 RAM chips, which is insane and ridiculous, but here we are. You could absolutely jump in on that, but nothing honestly makes sense anymore. Nothing is legitimately investable. And you could look at, precious metals like gold and silver as an investment if you want to. The arguments that, what the hell are you going to do with gold and silver? It's just going to sit there. They are honestly valid. They are valid. I mean, that's kind of the point. The whole idea is to, get some, hold on to it, and then, if the dollar goes to fucking zero, you have at least something to limp on until, whatever system starts to solidify afterwards pops up. But with all of the technological innovation, we have never been lonelier but more connected. And it's just like it's literally like, pod next to pod, and people just don't talk to each other. And honestly, I kind of get that. Too many people are out there trying to screw everybody over. That naturally your defenses are up by default. We live in a low trust society, so it's completely justifiable. It's completely reasonable. The circumstances aren't great. Honestly, I was kind of thinking recently about doing a Substack article where it wouldn't even be any writing, it would just be images. And it would be concentration camp bunks, San Francisco pod, public transportation, the cattle car trains, and whatever the hell the equivalent would be, the city buses, assuming they run the trolleys, just emphasizing that even though so many years have gone by and, equating it to the slavery too in the US, because even though the window dressing may get an upgrade, the overall problem is the same. We are born into a system that relies on people just slaving away and giving up decades and decades and decades of their life, all right, on a promise on a promise that one day you get to retire in Tahiti. Arthur, I got a plan. We're going to Tahiti. Just need more money. Arthur. Yeah, I can't do Dutch's voice, but still. We all have chased after this dream and this idea, and believe me, I'm in my 30s now. Like I've sacrificed to this idea, and it's pointless. Like we all know, my generation, Gen X, Gen X, Gen Alpha, Millennials, Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. I should go in order. We all know that Social Security isn't going to exist for us. Like, the only way that something like Social Security would exist is if we had artificial intelligence and robotics just take over everything. And then you eliminate the human cost in the entirety of the manufacturing chain. And it's like, okay, then you can drive prices down to near zero for everything. But then, you have a bunch of unemployed people who are bored out of their minds, and then you're going to have them fighting with the robots for the raw materials, the wood for, the wood, the stone, the lime, whatever, literally everywhere, everything. Um, and if it was one big centralized control structure, you would see bored people getting burned at the stake for wanting to you know, build a bed frame, something lame. They wanted to make a table with some epoxy. You know, the only investment that makes sense now is investing in other people, and it's difficult to do. It's difficult to do because a lot of people are not investable. A lot of people are self centered, they're toxic, they're excessively dramatic. Um, Believe me, I've dealt with plenty over the years, but only you can't rely on the system to be there for you. You also can't necessarily rely on people to be there for you. But the odd thing is you do have a higher chance of people coming through uh, when for each other versus the government coming through for people. You know, like I mean, most people have forgotten it, but it is still a thing. It was important. The fact that the Mexican National Guard, the Mexican military, had to come and bail out Louisiana after Hurricane Katrina. Like, what? What the fuck? Our own people can't do it? Well, we have FEMA. What's FEMA doing? Jerking off in the corner? Yep, yep, sounds about right. But hey, we'll give everybody temporary housing in trailers that are toxic, and we'll give them cancer and diabetes and all sorts of other shit. And I mean, it was supposed to be temporary, but somehow all those trailers ended up on the secondary market, and now you have a giant fucking health crisis as a result of that, and people fucking dying from existing in these fucking things. And it's like that with everything. At the end of the day, the only person who's going to make things happen in your life is you. Okay? If you want to get to the point where you could be a fleet and being a navy of your own, all right? Just existing in yourself, from yourself, you can be sole focal point. Okay? Shit gets lonely. Shit gets tiring. All right? Your justification to get up and go to work every day. Okay? Because believe me, I've been there multiple times where I just wanted to quit. Wanted to quit for large branches, large swaths of time, 3 months at a time. Like, is today gonna be the last day? No, I gotta take care of this, gotta take care of that, Gotta make the money for that. Maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to say, all right, fuck this shit, I'm out. But the reason why you stay is because you have responsibilities, and the system very much wants you to have responsibilities. The more responsibilities you have, the more they got you by the balls. At the end of the day, you have to choose. Are you going to trust the government and the corporate structure, or are you going to trust people? You can choose, between the people. You can find good people and surround yourself with good people. You're going to have a hell of a fucking hard time doing that with government and corporations. All right, they're almost all populated by either the laughably lame who don't want to try too hard, don't want to really do anything, rock the boat, say the wrong thing, or you're going to be surrounded by backstabbing snakes who are all just trying to rise to the top and they don't care how much damage they got to do to get there. You can choose the people you surround yourself with, and most people at this point in life, even the younger ones, even the younger kids, it's like you got to find a tribe. You legitimately, you got to find your people. Um, Especially with how difficult life is becoming. All right, because if life was just difficult, it'd be one thing. But we're dealing with levels of complexity that it's just too much. It's just too much. Investing in people can actually pay off. Inflation adjusted, investing in the stock market, you may win, but it'll quickly be inflated away. You may be able to cash in the gold and silver and, you know, you may win, and then it quickly will be inflated away. The entirety of measurement entirely is subjective. But that's a side note. You realize that all measurement is relative. It's all relative. It's not just try to create something with zero tolerance. Okay? It is damn near impossible. Okay? It's a thing. Between something as simple as tape measures, if you get like even two different brands of tape measure, they'll be off of each other by an eighth of an inch and per 3 feet, 1 foot to 3 feet, and then it just expands into a mess over time. We like to. This is one of the things about getting older too. The longer you live, the more you realize you don't know shit. You don't know shit because everything is subjective. Everything's relative. It's all moving. It's all floating. There is no solid ground beneath your feet. It's always changing. What's acceptable is changing. Measurement is changing. The size of an inch is changing. Boys, everything is in a constant state of flux. There's no existence into perpetuity in strict lines. Everything's floating. Regardless, I'd wager that you'd have a better shot in living a decent life. And I don't just mean decent life, I mean fulfilling, most of what you wanted. Um, just through finding your tribe and integrating. Because most of Western life has been focused on individualism. Now it's turning to collectivism. as time goes on, just because individualism, uh, you can be one guy trying to keep a roof over your head and pay a fortune for it, or you can be a part of a group of five bros. Bros. You could be a part of a group of five bros who split that rent payment into fifths, and your lives are all legitimately better for it. You just got to find your bros. Honestly, communization, collectivization is pretty much the only step that's left. In terms of actual advice, find your people. Do it now. All right? Could be your coworkers, could be old friends from the past. Find your people. Your life will improve. All right? At the very least, you will get some improvement. But drop the focus on, let me point the other way. Drop the focus on the structures and the bullshit that they try to tell us is so fucking important. None of that shit's gonna last. All right, this giant monster, the federal system as it is, it's not going to survive. The pension systems aren't going to survive. Stock market, they'll just end up closing that one day. Banking system, same. All of the things that they tell us will just stick. Those aren't immune. They're not immune to the shifting tides. Stop wasting your time. Stop taking things for granted. Find your tribe. And then individually and collectively rise. Okay? That's really what it comes down to. You're not going to, no matter how hard you are, you're not going to be able to do it solo going into the future. It's just not going to happen. You're going to need other people. And it's better for all of you to find those people now. Okay? And that could come from religion, people you go to church with. If you go to church, apparently that's kind of in a resurgence. Could be your coworkers. Could be old friends from the past. If you ain't got anybody else but your family, then family will do too. Just start making the changes now. Invest in people, invest in yourself, and you're probably going to do fine. Things aren't going to be perfect going forward, but you'll be a lot better off than you were now and would be otherwise. We're going to end it with that. This has been Michael from Spades Consulting. You guys have a good one. Check out the Substack. Check back here occasionally. And check out the site if you're interested in personal or business consulting, because I'll happily tell you how not to run your business into the ground before the balloon goes up. If you like the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have anything you would like me to talk about, even including politics, leave it in a comment. I'll get to it. And I think that covers everything. You guys have a good one, and I will see you next time.